What if I told you that the most powerful skill you can develop isn't learning something new, but learning to let go? This is the moral story of Peter, a young man who discovered that sometimes the greatest strength comes from the quietest mind. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between towering mountains, there lived a 24-year-old man named Peter. His days felt like an endless storm of thoughts, memories from his past haunting him like shadows, worries about his future keeping him awake at night. His mind was a chaotic marketplace where thousands of thoughts came and went, each one demanding his attention. Peter's restless spirit had consumed him completely. He couldn't remember the last time he felt truly peaceful. Sleep escaped him, smiles felt foreign, and even the simplest moments were clouded by the hurricane in his head. This wasn't just stress. This was a prison of his own making. One morning, while talking to elderly villagers at the local market, Peter heard whispers about a remarkable man living in the distant hills. They spoke of a former city psychologist who had helped thousands find peace before retreating to live simply among nature. The old man rarely took visitors, but those who found him often left transformed. Hope flickered in Peter's chest like a candle in the wind. Maybe, just maybe, this wise man could teach him the power of a quiet mind. If you're enjoying this inspirational story so far, hit that like button and subscribe for more life-changing content that you won't find anywhere else. These stories could be the key to unlocking your own transformation. After days of treacherous mountain travel, Peter finally reached the remote village. There, on the porch of a vine-covered cottage, sat the old man. His eyes were closed, his breathing steady, and around him hung an aura of complete tranquility that Peter had never witnessed before. "Grandfather," Peter said softly, his voice trembling with desperation. "My mind never stops racing. I'm drowning in my own thoughts. Can you teach me to find peace?" The old man opened his eyes slowly, as if emerging from a deep meditation. His gaze was kind but penetrating. "Ah, so you seek peace," he said with a gentle smile. "I can help you, but first you must learn something that might surprise you. True peace isn't about adding something to your life. It's about learning to let go of all distractions." He stood and walked to a small well in his garden. With careful precision, he filled a glass with crystal-clear water, filling it to the absolute brim. One tiny movement would cause it to overflow. "Here is your lesson," the old man said, extending the impossibly full glass toward Peter. "Walk to the edge of our village and return to me. But remember, you cannot spill even a single drop. This will teach you the power of focusing deeply." Peter stared at the glass, his mind immediately flooding with doubts. How could he possibly carry this through the busy village streets without spilling? But something in the old man's serene confidence made him accept the challenge. As Peter began his journey, the village around him erupted into its usual chaos. Children chased each other through narrow alleyways, merchants called out their wares, dogs barked at strangers, and cartwheels creaked over cobblestones. The noise was overwhelming, the distractions endless. But something extraordinary happened. With every step, Peter's attention became laser-focused on the water in his hands. The glass became his entire universe. His breathing slowed, his movements became deliberate, and slowly, all the chaos around him began to fade into background silence. Step by careful step, Peter discovered what the old man meant about the power of letting go. By releasing his attention from everything except this single moment, this single task, his mind naturally began to empty itself of all the noise that usually tormented him. People stared at him curiously as he passed, this young man moving with such intentional slowness, such complete concentration. But Peter didn't notice their stares. For the first time in years, his mind wasn't scattered across 1,000 different concerns. He was simply here, now, present. The journey that should have taken 20 minutes stretched into an hour. But Peter didn't care about time. He had discovered something profound. When you truly focus on the present moment, there's no room for past regrets or future anxieties. This was the beginning of understanding the power of a quiet mind. When Peter finally returned to the old man, not a single drop had been spilled. His face glowed with a mixture of pride and amazement. "I did it, grandfather. I didn't spill anything." The old man nodded approvingly, but then asked a question that would change everything. "That's wonderful, my son. But tell me, did you hear the children laughing as they played? Did you notice the beautiful flowers blooming along the path? Did you see the sunset painting the mountains?" Peter's expression shifted from pride to puzzlement. "No, I didn't notice any of that. I was completely focused on the water." The old man's smile deepened. "And there, my dear Peter, lies the secret you've been searching for. What you just experienced is the true power of focusing deeply. When your mind is completely absorbed in the present moment, there is no space for the thoughts that torment you." As the sun began to set, casting golden light across the mountainside, the old man continued his profound lesson. You see, peace isn't something you find outside yourself. It's not a destination you travel to or a thing you acquire. Peace is your natural state when you learn to empty your mind of everything except this moment. Peter felt something shifting deep within him, like ice melting after a long winter. "So all this time, I was trying to fight my thoughts instead of simply letting them go." "Exactly," the wise man replied. "Your mind is like a glass of muddy water. The more you stir it trying to make it clear, the muddier it becomes. But if you simply let it be still, the mud settles naturally and the water becomes crystal clear." And this motivational story reveals a truth that most people never discover. The most powerful thing you can do is often nothing at all. In our society, we're taught to always be doing, always be thinking, always be achieving. But Peter learned that sometimes the greatest achievement is learning to be completely still. The power of letting go isn't about giving up. It's about giving in to the present moment. When you stop fighting the river of life and instead learn to flow with it, you discover a peace that surpasses all understanding. As Peter prepared for his journey home, the old man offered one final piece of wisdom. Remember, this skill must be practiced daily. Just as you wouldn't expect to build strong muscles by lifting weights once, you can't expect a quiet mind without regular practice. Start each day with 5 minutes of complete focus on something simple. Your breath, a flower, even washing dishes. Let everything else fade away. This life lesson story shows us that we live in a world that profits from our distraction, that celebrates our busyness, that tells us peace comes from having more, doing more, being more. But true peace comes from the opposite direction entirely. It comes from learning to be present with what is, right here, right now. Peter returned to his village a changed man. The same thoughts still came, but now he knew how to let them pass like clouds across the sky. He had learned the most valuable skill of all, how to be completely present in each moment. So here's your challenge. Today, try the glass of water exercise in your own life. It doesn't have to be literal. Choose any simple task and give it your complete attention. Feel how your mind naturally quiets when you stop trying to do 10 things at once. What's the one area of your life where you most need to practice letting go? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insight might inspire someone else's transformation. And if this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more inspirational stories that can change your perspective forever. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today. Until our next story.